One of the most intriguing aspects of Tony Soprano's character in The Sopranos is the dichotomy between his professional moral code and the flexible morals he exhibits in his everyday life, especially given his involvement in organised crime. This internal conflict adds layers of complexities to his character and serves as a central theme throughout the series. Tony often emphasises the importance of family values, loyalty and respect for elders. He claims to adhere to a moral code centred around protecting and providing for his family. However, his criminal activities, including violence, extortion and corruption, directly contradict these proclaimed values. Never in the history of TV series or in film have I seen a character so beset on all sides by tormentors and stressors. This essay explores how Tony Soprano, during the tenure of his TV series The Sopranos, from beginning to end, has been looking over his shoulder. Tony's visits to his therapist, Dr. Jennifer Melfi, provide insight into his internal struggle with morality. He grapples with guilt and conflicts over his actions, seeking validation and understanding for his choices, while also attempting to reconcile his criminal life with his desire to be a better person. He often justifies acts of violence by framing them as necessary for self-preservation or the protection of his family and business. This rationalization allows him to maintain a semblance of moral high ground while engaging in morally questionable actions. He frequently holds others to a moral standard that he himself does not always adhere to. He may condemn certain behaviours in others, while simultaneously engaging in similar or even more egregious actions. This inconsistency reflects a level of moral flexibility based on self-interest. His Catholic upbringing and religious beliefs add another layer to the moral complexity. He attends church and grapples with questions of sin and redemption. However, his criminal lifestyle and lack of genuine remorse often clash with his professed religious convictions. Tony distinguishes between criminal activities and personal morality, compartmentalizing his actions as part of the business. This separation allows him to maintain a facade of moral integrity in his personal life, even as he engages in morally dubious activities in the criminal underworld. His love for his family, particularly his wife Carmela, and children is evident. However, his numerous extramarital affairs and infidelities highlight the contrast between his professed commitment to family values and his personal behaviour. He is skilled at manipulating others and engaging in deceptive practices, whether in business dealings or personal relationships. This ability to navigate morally grey areas underscores his adaptability to different situations, often to his advantage. Tony is portrayed by James Gandolfini in the acclaimed television series. He is a complex character who faces a multitude of stressors throughout the show. As the head of a New Jersey-based mob family, Tony juggles the demands of his criminal syndicate with the challenges of maintaining a seemingly normal family life. As the boss of the Soprano crime family, Tony is responsible for making critical decisions that impact the lives of his associates and family members. The constant pressure to maintain control, resolve conflicts and make strategic decisions weighs heavily on him. Balancing his criminal life with his role as a father and husband creates significant stress for Tony. The need to shield his family from the dangerous aspects of his life while simultaneously dealing with their issues contributes to emotional turmoil. One of the unique aspects of The Sopranos is Tony's struggles with mental health issues. He seeks therapy to cope with his anxiety attacks and the psychological toll of his criminal lifestyle. The stigma around his mental health within his community adds an extra layer of stress. The constant threat of violence from rival mob families, law enforcement and internal power struggles within his own organisation creates an environment of perpetual danger. This external pressure adds to Tony's overall stress levels. He is conscious of his public image and the perception of strength and control he must maintain within his criminal organisation. The fear of appearing weak or vulnerable can be a significant stressor, and it could potentially lead to challenges to his leadership. Tony grapples with the moral implications of his actions, and the conflict between his criminal life and his desire to be a good person creates inner turmoil. The nature of the mob lifestyle is unpredictable, and Tony is constantly navigating a world filled with uncertainty. The fear of betrayal, legal repercussions, and the ever-present risk of violence. Tony's struggle with physical health issues, including obesity and panic attacks, adds another layer of stress. The fear of mortality and the impact of his lifestyle on his well-being contribute to his overall sense of vulnerability. His character is a fascinating exploration of the complexities and stresses associated with a dual life and organised crime. The show delves into the psychological toll of a leading criminal enterprise while trying to maintain some semblance of a normal family life, providing a nuanced portrayal of the stressors that come with such a lifestyle. Tony's life is characterised by a pervasive sense of danger and the need to constantly look over his shoulder. This heightened state of alertness is a result of various factors inherent to his criminal lifestyle. He operates in a world where rival mob families are vying for power and territory. The constant threat of attack or betrayal from other organised crime groups means that he must always be wary of potential adversaries looking to undermine him. He is aware that the authorities are actively pursuing ways to bring down his criminal enterprise. The fear of surveillance, wiretaps and undercover agents creates a perpetual sense of vulnerability. Within the Soprano crime family itself, there are internal power struggles and conflicts. Tony must be vigilant against potential threats from within his own organisation, including ambitious underlings and rivals seeking to challenge his leadership. Trust is a rare commodity in the world of organised crime, and Tony constantly faces the possibility of betrayal from his own associates. Loyalties can be fickle, and individuals may turn against him for personal gain or self-preservation, forcing him to be cautious in whom he confides in. His past actions, decisions, and the consequences of his choices may come back to haunt him. Individuals or families affected by his decisions may seek revenge. He must be cautious about his daily activities, travel routes, and the people he associates with to minimize the potential for harm to himself and his family. Paranoia, anxiety and stress become integral parts of his daily life as he navigates the dangerous landscape of organised crime. The necessity of always being on guard can lead to isolation. Trust becomes rare, and Tony struggles with forming genuine connections with others due to the constant fear of betrayal. In essence, Tony's life is a constant balancing act between projecting an image of strength and control while simultaneously being aware of the numerous threats that surround him. The need to look over his shoulder at all times becomes not just a physical reality, but a psychological burden, contributing to the complex and multifaceted character portrayed in The Sopranos. The show itself is known for its ambiguous ending, and the question of whether Tony Soprano achieves redemption is left open to interpretation. Throughout the series, Tony struggles with his morality, seeking redemption through therapy and grappling with the consequences of his actions. However, the show does not offer a clear resolution or a definitive answer regarding Tony's redemption. There are moments in the series where Tony shows signs of self-reflection and a desire for change. His therapy sessions provide a platform for exploring these issues, and viewers witness moments of vulnerability and introspection. However, these moments are often juxtaposed with Tony's continued involvement in criminal activities and morally questionable decisions. The final episode of The Sopranos, titled Made in America, concludes with an enigmatic scene at a diner. As Tony waits for his family to join him, the screen abruptly cuts to black, leaving Tony's fate unresolved. The ambiguous ending has sparked much debate and interpretation among fans and critics. Some argue that the cut to black suggests a sudden and possibly violent end for Tony, emphasising the constant threat and uncertainty in his life. Others propose that it represents the cyclical nature of Tony's existence, with the black screen signifying the continuation of his struggles and the inescapable consequences of his actions. The lack of closure invites viewers to contemplate whether redemption is achievable for a character with such a complex and morally conflicted history. Some may argue that he had moments of self-awareness and a desire for change, while others may view his character as fundamentally unredeemable due to his criminal lifestyle and the harm he has caused to others. The exploration of the cyclical nature of organised crime is a recurring theme throughout The Sopranos, and contributes to the complexity of Tony Soprano's character. This theme suggests that individuals involved in organised crime find themselves trapped in a cycle of violence, corruption and moral compromise that is difficult to escape. The Sopranos depicts the transmission of organised crime from one generation to the next. Tony's own involvement in the mafia is inherited from his father, Johnny Soprano. This generational continuity implies that criminal behaviour is deeply ingrained and passed down within families. The series portrays the characters' struggles to break free from the constraints of their criminal lifestyles. Tony faces limited opportunities for legitimate employment or a life outside the mob. This lack of alternative paths reinforces the notion that escaping the cycle of organised crime is a formidable challenge. Characters in The Sopranos often find themselves repeating the mistakes and patterns of their predecessors, whether it's Tony's struggles with anger and infidelity mirroring his father's behaviour, or the constant power struggles within the crime family. The show emphasises the cyclical nature of actions and consequences. The strong influence of traditional mafia values, codes of honour and loyalty further reinforce the difficulty of breaking away from the established way of life. Characters are bound by a sense of duty to the family and the code of silence, omerta, making it challenging to challenge the status quo. The characters in The Sopranos often express a fatalistic worldview, believing that their lives are predestined by their involvement in organised crime. The sense of fatalism diminishes the perception that individuals have control over their own destinies and contributes to a feeling of entrapment within the criminal lifestyle. Symbolic imagery such as the recurring presence of the duck pond at the Soprano house or references to predators and prey reinforces the idea of life's cyclical and predatory nature. These symbols underscore the challenges of breaking free from ingrained patterns of behaviour. Given these elements, the cyclical nature of organised crime in The Sopranos suggests that individuals like Tony may find it extremely difficult to break away from the patterns and consequences of their criminal activities. This thematic exploration contributes to the overall complexity of the series and raises questions about the possibility of redemption within the context of a life deeply entrenched in organised crime. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for notifications. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.